Okay, so uh, over the weekend I took off the top end, and the cams were actually 180 degrees off each, so that's why gas was shooting out of the carburetor, like I said in an earlier video. So I flipped over the cams and then made sure they were at the right timing with cylinder 1 in top dead center, and I measured the gap between the shims and the valve, and it was too small, so I went out and bought these guys here. These are two shims in there, and they were at 195 inside of their stock shims, and I bought 190, so half a millimeter smaller, which would give me about 0.07 gap, which is right in the middle of what I need for this bike. Besides that, I think it will start once I do that shims, because it was almost running when I flipped over the cam. So this right here is your distributor. It sends the spark when this circle here passes this magnet and gets close enough, and it makes the spark go. But how you find top dead center with this is you'll see a little mark. There's always a mark in all of these. You can see it right in the back, right behind that copper plate on the wall. You'll get a T for top right there. So I'm gonna go get a 17 mil and show you. Alright, we'll get this to focus up again. I'll put this on. I'm gonna turn it over. I'm just turning my crankshaft here. Kind of hard to do with everything. So there's a number there. That's not the one we want. So keep on turning, keep on turning, keep on turning. So there's an F. We don't want that. We want the T. So right when the T is lined up, put that guy right there, just a little bit more. That is top dead center. Now if you take off this spark plug, this piston 1 will be right up to the top. That's what you need to take off your top. You're also going to take off that right there. That's your cam chain tensioner. You got to loosen that off before you take off your top. So here is the top end of the engine, and there's your cam gears and your cam chain. You can see that arrow right there. I'll see if I can focus on it. That is for your timing, and it goes all the way across the engine over this guy, and there's the arrow. The reason it's up a little bit is because I don't have the cam tensioner on right now. And if you see that number 32 with an arrow, that's for your timing. You count from the arrow over here, 32 all the way over to that arrow, and that'll make sure your timing's right. But you have to have your engine in top dead center, and I showed you how to do that earlier. Besides that, we are replacing that shim right there under the intake valve 1, and the shim on the other side right there, intake valve 2, with 0.5 millimeters smaller. And I'll show you when the cam's out. I would be starting my bike right now, but I took off the top end. I was right about to take off the shims and show you, but I slipped out one shim and it just didn't look the same size. It's 295, that's my original shim. This is a 290, which is good. But if I put them on top of each other, yes, they're the wrong size.